I'm proud of our guys, especially for how we responded in the second half. It was the first half was another 20 minutes of kind of like a carryover from the last game, and wasn't pretty. It was actually ugly, but I thought we continued to defend, and somehow we had a lead at the half. I thought we did some really good things in the second half. We're a team that's struggling with confidence. Stuff for us is different this year, and guys are having to get adjusted. And what I mean is that for this group, because of, some of the momentum that we had last year and creating hope, there are expectations. And that's new for this group. And then we come out and we win the first game, and I think those expectations become even more. And then we have a setback, and it messed with us. And that's what you see. And so that's why I was really proud of what we did in the second half with how we came out. We shot 63% from the field. I think we only had 3 turnovers. It was great to see Xavier have some plays like we know he's capable of playing that we've seen before. It was great to see Aldis back on the offensive glass and doing that. Trey made some shots. Justin had a double-double. And so it was good just to see the ball go through the basket. We hadn't seen that in the previous 40 minutes, 20 minutes in the first half, in the last 20 minutes. And so I'm proud of that. Hopefully it's something we can build on and move forward with.
Did you expect this kind of outburst from Adis, or was it kind of out of
No, I didn't. I mean, he hasn't played well, just like all of us. And it's not one guy. For us, it's never about one guy. And, we haven't played well, especially offensively. We have actually done a pretty decent job defensively in every game we've played. But offensively, we've struggled to find a rhythm. And, it was good to see him, do some things and get back, to who he is, which is just this competitive guy that is on the glass and does all the tough, dirty stuff, and he did that.
Jeff, what was your message to your players at halftime? Because the difference between the two performances half to half is pretty drastic.
Well, I think anytime you see the ball go through the basket, that changes a lot. That's something that helps guys get confidence. And so, our message was continue to defend and offense move and play with confidence. Like, they're our shots. Like, don't feel the burden and the pressure of every shot that you take. And, again, there was a big basket in the second half. We had some movement. We shared the ball, and we had some positive things happen.
Jeff, for X, he scored coming out of the second half, but he also was a better distributor too. Do those things go hand in hand for him, or is it?
I think they do. Because he's scoring and he made some threes, and you got to come out on him a little bit more. And so I think they go hand in hand. He had 3 turnovers to start the game and didn't have one for the rest of the game. That was good. I thought Oni came in and gave us some great minutes, some really, really positive minutes. And I thought that was able to give X a little bit of a break for him to see the game, just watch it for a little bit, and get back in there and have some positive things happen.
Coach, you mentioned the defense and what they had done to keep the team in the game. What's your thoughts on the paint play and the rebounds?
I thought we rebounded well, especially on the offensive end. We'd like to get a little bit more offensively inside. We have to finish some plays. We have to be able to play through contact. I thought it was okay, but I thought defensively, we did some good things.
What's Gerald's status?
He rolled his ankle, not sure when he'll be available. Rolled his ankle yesterday in practice.
Coach, I think you've mentioned the Florida State win after pretty much every game this year, kind of having a lingering effect. How will you know when they finally move past that, put that in the rear view?
Well, I do think we've put it in the rear view. I don't think we are still harping on that. I just think there's a different type of pressure that I think our guys are feeling, and it's because of expectations. No one on this team had the pressure of outside expectations last year. Nobody. And again, because of how we finished up last year, and there was hope, and then you have guys coming back and all these different things. And so there was some expectation coming into the season, and then we win the first game, and maybe those expectations increase. And then maybe the way we think about ourselves increases. And then we're hit with a big dose of reality right away. And, you know, I just think we're a team struggling with confidence. And we're still really young. And I don't use that as, you know, that as an excuse, but it's a fact. And it's not an excuse, that's just a fact. And so, you know, we have a lot of work to do. And that's why I'm excited. You know, I hope people are excited. Like, I'm excited. I hope our guys are excited. Shouldn't say I don't care about people, but I hope our guys are excited because we did some good stuff in the second half. And we did some stuff that we can build on and we can move forward with, you know, and like, we should be excited about that. We have an opportunity coming up on Thursday to do something we haven't done this year, which is win 2 games in a row. And so there should be an excitement about that. And I know I'm certainly going to be that way. And, you know, I hope everyone is, you know, associated with our program.
Coach, when you talk about that confidence point, when X sets up, he strokes it pretty good. Is it his lack of confidence in wanting to shoot the ball as opposed to penetrating? Or
I think it's just, you know, as a player, confidence is a big part of your game. And if you get down on yourself and start to question and start to think, that can make you a little bit slower. It can make you where you're not, you know, like you don't play off instinct, where you're thinking. And we are a team, we are a group, that we can't overthink stuff. You know, and that's happened. Now, part of it has been because of, you know, the way we've been defended in some of these games. And it's different, especially the expectation on certain guys. And so I think that's a part of it. I think, you know, he struggled shooting the ball, you know, and so it was good to see some shots go in today.
On Friday, he talked about when you guys can't run offense, you have to play offense. Did you guys do a better job of that tonight?
I thought we did a better job of that. They did some different stuff, ball screens. They switched everything instead of trapping it. I thought we were stagnant in the first half. I thought we had more movement in the second half, and that opened up some driving lanes for us. Like, we still have to get better at moving it and us moving. You know, a lot of times we just stand and we just watch. And a guy is just trying to go one-on-one and beat 4 guys, his guy and the other guys. And so we have to continue to help them understand that and put them in positions where we all can be better offensively.
Jeff, so many of your games where you've been successful have involved a significant number of trips to the foul line. Obviously, you can't make them foul you, but is there something you're doing well offensively that is causing you to get fouled in those games?
Well, I just think, you know, we're a team that we're constantly trying to drive. We're trying to get paint touches. And with the way the game is officiated now, these hand checks and things like that, that makes it, especially when you have good spacing, you have movement, and you have some guys that are pretty good off the bounce, you're able to get that at times.
How much more, how much more burdensome or problematic can expectations be, Jeff, when they're sophomores or freshmen dealing with them as opposed to juniors, seniors, guys with a little more experience?
I think the juniors and seniors are still dealing with it here because no one's ever won. No one's ever done anything. No one in this program that's a player has dealt with expectations. No one. And there's a different burden when you're expected to do something, and if you fail or if you don't, it doesn't happen as fast as maybe you want it to happen or people think that it should happen. And you can get in your head. And with the way things are now, especially for young people, there are more avenues for them to see these things, for them to hear these things. And as much as you tell them to not pay attention to it, it's hard to. It's hard for adults not to pay attention to it. And so it's something we have to continue to teach them.
Jeff, everyone else has a lot of expectations for this team. What were your expectations coming into the season?
For us to continue to get better, to take positive steps going forward. That was my expectation. I'd never put, you know, an expectation on a number of wins or things like that. I want us to be the best team that we can be. I knew there were going to be growing pains. I knew our schedule was challenging early, especially. And so that was my expectation. And that's still my expectation.
Coach X mentioned deactivating his social media to kind of remove some of that noise you're talking about. Did you encourage that in any way?
We had a long talk after the West Virginia game before I came up and did media. And, you know, one of the things I shared with him is that, you know, with him, he was a guy last year, like I equated it to Rocky 3. And, you know, in Rocky 1 and 2, he's this guy from Philly, this street guy. And he hadn't done anything. You think about Rocky 2, he's trying to do a commercial, he can't talk. And he's just this hungry dude from Philly. And he's fighting Apollo, and in the second one, he's just, you know, he's got a mission, his wife just had a baby. I mean, just all these different things, but he's just this hungry guy, and then he wins the title. And then as Rocky 3 starts, like, he's the man. He's doing commercials, he's in all these things, and then he's getting ready to fight Clubber Lang, and that's who he was. And he's not that anymore. He's big time. He's, you know, whatever, and he gets his butt beat because he's lost his edge. And sometimes when you have success, it can make you lose your edge, or what you perceive as success. You know, he broke the freshman scoring record. He was a guy last year that was incredibly hungry because no one knew who the heck he was. There was no expectation for him. And all of a sudden, you know, you have a good year individually, and so there's an expectation of, well, I could be a pro. Like, it's something I've dreamed about. Maybe it's close. And success can make you soft sometimes. And so we talked about that. We talked about reading all these things, and you can believe them. Either way, like, that's how this stuff can influence you. And I didn't know that he deactivated. I had no idea. I just told him, like, you got to get away from it. You have to get your edge back. You have to get what made you really good. And so I'm glad to hear that he did that. That's not something I've said in here. I don't tell guys to get off, or that you know, that's their right to have that. But they have to learn how to handle it responsibly. So,
Jeff
Familiar
King
with the
talked.
movies?
huh?
Was he familiar with the Rocky movies?
He said he was. I don't know if he was, but he said he was.
Did you see that edge come back from him?
I saw it in the second half. I saw some of it in the second half, the confidence and things like that. But like I told him, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not. You know, you have to build that back, because these are habits, man. I mean, all of us know as adults, habits are hard to break, and they're, you know, if you have a great habit, then that's hard to break too. And so, you know, he has to get back into being that hungry dude from Northern Virginia that no one really knew about, and that came here with something to prove. He's got to get back, you know, to being that, and we have to be that as a group.
Jeff King talked about you know, his history with your father and your family. Oh, it's kind of special as to share a sideline with someone like that. And
Like who?
King Rice.
Oh yeah, I've known King. You know, when I was being recruited out of high school, I used to go up to Carolina games a lot. They were in my Final Four. It was really always just two. And he was a player, and so I would hang out in the locker room, and he was always incredibly cool with me then. And then just over the years, staying in touch in the profession, you know, I think he had a great deal of respect for my dad. I know my dad had a great deal of respect for him. I think my dad was someone that, you know, maybe he leaned on in the profession and went to. And so, you know, I'm happy, you know, with the success that he's had as a coach and what he's done there at that program. It's cool to see him bring JR on. You know, he's taking care of, you know, that program, just like the program I played for, you know, you take care of each other. And so, you know, what he's done at Monmouth, you know, he's gotten Derek Phelps into the profession, Brian Reese, and now JR. That's a really cool thing to see.